to take the roll call, please.
Roll call for April 16th, 2019. Hugh Stippen,
Here.
Barbara Peterson, John Kiefner,
Here.
Roger Bettenhausen,
Here.
Michael Crothers,
Here.
Kimberly Mitchell, here, Thomas White.
Here.
I'm going to ask everybody to please turn down or put in airplane mode your cell phones. And all those who are going to appear before the board tonight or who want to speak tonight, I'm going to ask you to swear in. So I pledge to tell the truth, nothing but the truth, so help me God. I do. I do? Okay, thank you. Oh, yeah. Ms. Secretary, would you make the announcements?
If I could have your attention, for those cases tonight, all variances will have their ordinance presented at the end of their session. The map amendments and special use permits, special uses, those cases will be brought to the Land Use Development Committee on May 14th at 10:30 a.m. and will follow through County Board May 16th at 9:30 a.m.
All right, first zoning case tonight. Will County Planning and Zoning Commission case will be ZC-19-005, prepared by Marguerite Kenny and presented by Marguerite.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The owners and applicants of ZC 19-005 are Mike and Tina Bustenfeld. The applicants reside at 23402 West Cooper Drive in Plainfield Township. The subject parcel is zoned R3 and is Lot 47 of the Penland Subdivision, Unit 3, except for the western 10 feet. The applicant would like to construct a 2-car garage addition to the existing residence along the western property side. And in order to construct that addition, a variance for minimum side yard setback from 10 feet to 8 feet is requested. The applicant wishes to store vehicles and other items that are currently being stored inside the addition. And the proposed addition, combined with the existing attached garage as well as the wooden shed on the property, would be in conformance with the 1,500 square foot maximum accessory building area that is required of the R3 district. On the screen, you can see that the property is improved with a single-family residence, an attached garage, a wooden shed in the back, and then also an in-ground swimming pool. The septic field is located in the backyard. And while other parcels within the Penland Subdivision Unit 3 have remained intact, the west 10 feet of this former Lot 47 property has been deeded over back in 1972 with the previous previous property owner. And it is currently under common ownership with the property to the west, located at 23406 Cooper Drive. You can see the images on the screen. On the bottom right is looking at the existing garage, and the location towards the west would be where the addition would go. And then the image on the bottom left is roughly the 10 feet between the two properties that was formerly Lot 47 and is now part of the adjacent property. Next slide, thank you. Had the subject property remained unchanged and retained that western 10 feet, the proposed addition would meet that 10-foot yard setback. The applicant could construct a smaller garage addition to meet the current lot size 10-foot setback. And that being said, the addition on the west side is most feasible given the improvements made to the property. And you can see on the bottom right, just the area zoning. To the north, the A1 parcel is utility lines. And the rest is R3 as well. Looking on the screen, you have the Connect Explorer bird's eye aerial of the subject parcel as well as the Penland subdivision. The bottom right-hand corner also shows the area of the proposed garage addition. Staff finds if granted, the variance will not alter the essential character of the neighborhood. And if the western 10 feet, as mentioned, had not been conveyed, this addition would meet setbacks. There are also some other properties within the subdivision that have large driveways and even 3-car garages or accessory structures that look to hold a significant amount of personal items. The next couple slides are just showing across the street. This is looking south across Cooper Drive at the residence, looking south-southeast. And then the next slide shows looking east and west along Copper Drive. Staff received no objection letters from the Wilkes South Cook Soil and Water Conservation District, nor the Will County Health Department. Staff also notified the Plainfield Township Highway Commissioner and the Plainfield Township Fire Protection District, none of which provided any comments. We did have a neighbor call, I believe yesterday, who was unable to attend tonight's meeting, but would like to address the commission in terms of her comments in support of the variance request. And Karen Muller is located at 23406 Cooper Drive. And she's that western property owner where the garage addition would be actually built towards. And she wanted the commission to know that she actually would welcome the addition being built and would wish the commission to approve the variance. Staff is recommending approval of the variance, and that's due to the unique circumstance that the conveyance of that western 10 feet happening in 1972, many, many years ago, and resulted in this subject parcel being the only lot within the subdivision being altered since then. It's also within the character of the neighborhood, and that concludes staff's analysis.
Does anyone any questions of staff?
Well, just for legal clarification, everything I have calls it Copper Drive, which is what you keep saying, and then correcting this out to Cooper. So it is Copper.
It is Copper, my bad typo. Thank you for clarifying.
You would correct yourself.
Nothing else? Thank you very much, Mark. Are the owners here, Mike and Tina, what's the film? Would you care to come up? You do not have to. Is there anybody in this group that is a concerned citizen or an objector to this? There's no concerned citizens or objectors. If you don't want to come up, you know the staff has recommended approval, so it's up to you.
We are fine. She did a wonderful job.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Chairman, in regard to case ZC-19-005, I'll make a motion for approval of variance for minimum side yard setback 10 feet to 8 feet on the west side.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign? Okay, you did any paperwork for me?
Yes.
We have some paperwork for you, and that's your approval. next case tonight is case number ZC-19-010. Jessica Gal prepared it, and Jessica Gal will present.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Zoning case ZC-19-010 takes place in Wheaton Township. The owner is J&G Plainfield Investments LLC with Mark Gleason and Vincent Jackson, each as 50% beneficiaries. The applicant, Angela Monday, is requesting a special use permit for light equipment sales in order to establish an internet-based used car dealership. On the screen is an aerial map and a zoning map. The subject property is located within the Wolf Creek Industrial Park. The industrial park was platted in 1977 and is located at the intersection of 119th Street and Illinois Route 59 in Plainfield, Illinois. So in the top right-hand corner is kind of just a larger view where you see the industrial park goes all the way to that intersection. The majority of the lots in the subdivision are developed with just a handful that are vacant. The subject parcel is zoned I-1. Like the other lots within that subdivision, so to the southwest and north is I-1 zoning. To the east is an A1 parcel that does have a riding arena. The subject request actually takes place within Unit B of the 3-unit building that's on the property. So I pulled up an image here with the kind of the approximate boundaries of Unit B. The applicant is proposing that all vehicles for sale would be stored indoors within that unit, and there would be no outdoor storage. Between 7 and 10 vehicles are anticipated to be stored indoors. So just a couple of images here. The first one is a view of the subject property from the South Spalding School Drive. So you can actually see a couple of bay doors there. The first two serving Unit A, one serving Unit B, and the last one serving Unit C. And here's an image of the outdoor storage area that is on the eastern side of the parcel that's currently being used by Unit A. And this is facing east from the parking lot. And although the applicant isn't proposing any outdoor storage, it is permitted in the I-1 zoning district provided it's screened in accordance with the zoning regulations. So here's an image looking north and then south along Spalding School Drive. When you look south, that road actually curves and turns into airport. Staff is recommending approval of the special use permit request for light equipment sales based upon the review criteria. Given that all storage is proposed to be indoors, there should be no conflict between on-site employee and customer parking and the actual vehicle inventory storage. Therefore, staff feels that the special use shall not be detrimental, and it is compatible with the surrounding industrial uses within that industrial park. There are 3 conditions added to the special use permit. The first one is a standard condition. The second and third conditions are really just added to ensure that if there is any sort of outdoor storage, that it doesn't compete for space with parking spaces that would be needed for the subject use or any proposed uses that would be occupying the other units. So number 2 says off-street parking must be provided for the proposed use and all uses on the lot in accordance with section 155-11.30. Number 3, vehicles that are for sale may not be parked or stored in required parking spaces, drive aisles, fire lanes, or loading areas. As noted in the staff report, there were no objections received from any governmental agency. At a meeting yesterday evening, so I received an email this morning, the Plainfield Village Board voted to file no objection to the subject zoning request, and this concludes staff's analysis.
Thank you. Does anyone have any questions of Jessica? Thank you, Jessica. Is the owner or agent here?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Are there any objectors or concerned citizens to this case? There are no concerned citizens or objectors to this case, and we have a motion for approval. You don't need to come up here if you don't want to. If you want to, you're welcome to. Okay.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion for case number ZC19-010, approving a special use permit for light equipment sales with 3 conditions.
Second.
Motion is second, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Okay. Pass. You have paperwork to... You're done, thank you. The next case tonight will be ZC-19-011. Declared as Greenfield and presented as Greenfield.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Zoning case ZC-19-011 takes place in Manhattan Township. The owner is the Dolman Trust, and the applicant is requesting a map amendment from A1 to E1 in order to divide a parcel in half. I have the parcel up here on the screen for you. So this zoning case concerns a 13.09 acre A1 parcel, which is located on the northeast corner of Smith and Kankakee. The parcel has frontage on both of those roadways, as you can see. And the applicant is looking to divide this parcel in half. Click it. Oh, there we go. Okay. So they're looking to divide it on an east-west axis in order to create a northern parcel and a southern parcel. So these two parcels that are proposed would meet both the minimum lot area and the minimum lot frontage requirements for that E1 zoning district. You can see that they both would have frontage along Kankakee Street, which is where the Township Highway Commissioner has said that they would grant driveway access permits to. I have an image of our zoning map for you, and then also our land resource management plan map. So when we look at criterion 1 and 2 that we use to review the map amendments, we look at the existing uses in the area and also the existing zoning classifications. So this area is rather mixed. We have some estate residential, some E2, we have some A2, we have some A1, and we have some R2. And we also have up at the very corner here, I don't have my little pointer. Oh, there we go. Thank you, Margie. We have the Village of Manhattan over there in the north. This area is located within the suburban communities form, and it's sort of on the border of the rural areas, and you can really tell that where we have this suburban growth that's coming from the Village of Manhattan, and then we have the bordering with the A1 or the rural areas. So what the applicant is proposing is in compliance with the land resource management plan in regards to criterion 5. I also have here, this is the Village of Manhattan's comprehensive plan, and it's a little difficult to see, but that parcel is actually designated to be medium density residential in the Village of Manhattan's plan. So again, residential uses, and it's also in compliance with that. I have some images of this site here, so we're looking north towards a neighboring farmstead. And it's right now it's vacant agricultural land currently being farmed. We're looking south towards Smith Road there. We have another farmstead in the background. This is one of the residential properties that's on the opposite side of Kankakee Street. And then just will be looking towards the intersection. So just a reminder of those criteria for the map amendments that I touched upon during the presentation. And staff is recommending approval of the map amendment from A1 to E1. I received no objections from any of the agencies that were notified. And I did actually receive a late letter from the Manhattan Township. So that was handed out to you with a memo, and they did not object either to this zoning case. And that concludes staff's analysis.
Thank you. Does anyone have any questions of staff?
I see that the township approval comes with 2 conditions. Are those conditions that the applicant are aware of, or do they know of them? Or?
Yes, the applicant was at the Manhattan Township meeting. Again, we cannot condition map amendments. That's just not something that we are able to do. When you zone to E1, all of those restrictions that come with E1 are part of that. So the applicant is intending to divide east-west, you have the northern parcel and the southern parcel. What they are proposing is in line with what the township is asking.
So we can't pass through the township recommendation on that at all?
We cannot condition the map.
Still learning.
questions? Okay, thank you very much. Are the people here who are, I guess, Karen Teasley is the trustee and spokesperson? Okay.
Yes.
Is everyone else here too? I see you.
I am here.
Okay. Are there any objectors or concerned citizens to this case? Once again, there's no objectors or concerned citizens, so unless you have something you'd like to add, you don't have to come to the podium.
I don't have anything that I'd like to add.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, for case number ZC 19-011, I would move for approval for map amendment from A1 to E1.
Second.
I have a motion second. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, same sign. Okay, it's passed.
I got my motion right.
You were awesome.
The next case is ZC-19-013. Joanne Odo is the owner, and it was prepared by Janine Farrell and will be presented by Janine Farrell.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Zoning case ZC-19-013 takes place in Joliet Township. The applicant is requesting a variance for the minimum street yard setback from 30 feet to 26 feet. The applicant is requesting this variance in order to build a new residence on an existing foundation on the property. This is an image, or I should say a drawing, of the proposed new residence. This would be the street-facing facade or the front facade, just to give you a sense of what the applicant is looking to build. The existing home that was on the property was demolished in 2018 after damage that was sustained from a fire. This is a Google Street View of that house that was demolished. This Google Street View is from, I believe, 2013, but just to give you a sense of what was there previously. The single-story structure that is to the left of the two-story structure there, so that was built in 1956 according to the assessor. In 1982, that two-story addition was built, and that two-story addition was actually built encroaching into the setback, so at 26 feet instead of 30 feet. Staff could not determine that that was ever legally established. The setback requirement at the time in 1982 was for 30 feet, but this addition was built at 26. So we have here, this is the plat of survey, and this actually shows you the foundation, and you can get a little bit better sense of how it juts out, on the northern side, that two-story addition, just a little bit into the street yard setback. The residence at that time was undergoing a major renovation, which did not have a building permit through the Will County Land Use Department, and it caught fire in April 2018. It was demolished that fall, and the foundation was structurally sound, so it was left behind with the intent to rebuild on it in the future. This is an image, current date, of the site. As you can see, beyond that orange snow fence is the foundation, so the residence is gone. This is a view basically looking from the rear of the property towards the road and towards that existing foundation. This is a view of the other residences that are actually located on that block. It's sort of a very small block with just these three properties. And both of those homes do meet the 30-foot setback requirement. Staff is recommending approval, staff will be, I'll tell you why, right? So, the staff does believe that this variance is due to a unique situation and circumstance. We had an existing structure built in 1956 that met the setback, then we have this addition built in 1982 by a previous owner. It did not meet the setback. And staff does feel that this variance, if granted, would not alter the essential character of the area. I have this is a Google Street View image, so it's not the greatest, but it's what we have available for us at the time, of that existing home with that two-story addition that came just 4 feet into the setback, and then the neighboring home as well. So we are looking south in this picture here. And you can see that this minimal amount that the home is protruding into the setback is not really even discernible. You know, there's mature trees on the street, and the distance between the homes, you honestly would not tell to the naked eye that it is 4 feet into the setback and encroaches. And staff did not receive any sort of objections to this variance request. And I also affirmed the rest of the review criteria in your packet for you. And that concludes staff's analysis.
Thank you. Any questions to staff? Are the owners here tonight?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Is there any objectors or concerned citizens to this case? No.
No objections, but we do.
I would like to speak though.
You're surely welcome to. Please come down. Be careful. It's a inclined plane walk. When you get to the podium, please give your name and address.
Okay.
Hi everyone, my name is Joanne Odo and I live at 35 Kildare Avenue. I'm hoping to go back there. Thank you all for listening to my case tonight. The only thing I wanted to address, which I'm very upset about, is that in the report, it did state that in 2018, I was undergoing major renovation without a permit, and that was not true. There was a permit in my window. We have pictures that you can see there was a permit in the window that I had the roof renovated, but I did have a permit. I was not doing anything that I was not supposed to be doing. And I did go down to the fire department yesterday because in the report it did state that in the East Joliet Fire Department incident, it stated that I was doing major renovation without a permit. And that bothers me a lot because I would never do anything I wasn't supposed to do. And so I did talk to them. He gave me a copy of the incident, and there was nothing in there to indicate that I was doing anything without a permit. And I just wanted to clarify that.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Chair,
Yes, sir.
make a motion for approval. Case number ZC-19-013 for variance minimum street yard setback from 30 feet to 26 feet.
Motion and a second. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Okay, you passed. Thank you.
Thank you.
We should bring one of them easy ones.
No problem at all.
Take my home and shred it. See what we're doing.
I made the rookie mistake of when we tabled one, I didn't pull it out to bring to the next meeting, I didn't send it to you again the next month. So that one time I was like, I can't come out of all these on the table. Right now, that's my file.
No, you're done. We're done tonight, yes.
We're just gonna start with
Is there any other business to come forward? I want to thank staff for all the work they did to get this done in the middle and for adhering to the board's ideas that we don't want to have to be overburdened with cases in one meeting. Thank you very much. Any announcements at all from Matt?
States Attorney in our office. I will be joining Chris with PCC one more meeting, May 7th, the next one. And then from that point forward, Mr. Weiss will be taking over from our office, attending the PCC meetings at the States Attorney's office. So I just want to introduce Chris to all of you.
Thank you, Chris, we appreciate you being here, and we'll be looking forward to working with you. Matt, where does that leave us with our law case? You'll still advise us of?
Oh, you have the pending litigation?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
I will definitely keep you informed when we need to go into executive session to discuss that. I will certainly return and come back.
Okay, thank you very much. I would like a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Keeper will second.
Motion second for adjournment, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign? We're